Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to talk Sylvaneth and we're going to talk the Winterleaf subfaction in particular. In this video, we're going to go through everything that makes a Winterleaf subfaction army special, what all the special rules are. We'll then take a look at some units we can start our Winterleaf army with before further exploring some other units later down the line to expand upon those first initial purchases. Finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list for you to use as some inspiration to create your own Winterleaf Sylvaneth army, or indeed copy ours if that's what you wish to do. And so, with that, Sylvaneth Winterleaf is one of the many Sylvaneth subfactions. It's a generic one in your sort of sense on how it works. You pick a subfaction, you get a cool special rule. It doesn't unlock any particular battle line options, but you do get this cool rule. Enemy units within 3 inch of a friendly Winterleaf unit cannot retreat. In addition, if you pick the Everdusk Season of War, one of the many different seasons of war, you can pick battle trait for a Winterleaf army. Enemy units within 3 inch of friendly Winterleaf units cannot be removed from the battlefield through an effect that would allow them to be set up later in the battle as well. So no enemies teleporting out of combat or retreating out of combat, no janky stuff. Carriage-on Overlords Fly High would not work out of combat with this. You wouldn't be able to teleport ships out of combat, which is a massive one, and lots of other things. This is a really nice little techie Sylvaneth army. I think there's definitely a lot to be said with playing a nice bunker-style army with these particular rules that can just hold up enemies and just slowly bring them down. Now, looking to begin our Sylvaneth army, I think the Branch Witch is a great place to start. First of all, she's a pretty solid wizard. She's got a good area effect spell, and that's a big reason I like her. Because we are going to be playing in an army that's really going to be hunkering down and just playing the long game, her Unleash Spite spell, where you roll an amount of dice equal to the casting roll of the spell, for each 5+, each enemy unit within range of the spell suffers a mortal wound, it's pretty cool. Her Fury the Forest ability allows you to add 1 in hit and wound rolls for her while she's within 9 inch of overgrown terrain or awakened wildwoods, and we're generally going to be hunkering down around them because of our Dryads, which are the unit I'm going to suggest are a great pick to play alongside a Branch Witch. Dryads have 2 attacks each, 4s and 4s, no rend, damage 1, and then 1 wound on a 5-up save. Doesn't sound all that great. But their Blessings of the Forest allow them to subtract 1 from hit and wound rolls for attacks that target them if they're wholly within 9 inch of any overgrown terrain features or friendly awakened wildwoods. This is just an amazing ability and keeps your Dryads in the fight for so much longer than they have any right to be. The -1 to hit and wound combined is just absolutely massive, and it does mean you can survive quite a lot of stuff for your Winterleaf Sylvaneth the Dryads, which is really cool. Looking at where else we can go to pick up some units. Now, Kurnoth Hunters for me, they combined really nicely with a bunch of stuff in Winterleaf. They are a unit that really just wants to sit there and take the hits. But the Kurnoth Hunters with Scythe, for me, they do one thing, and that's their Tanglethorn Thicket, where if the enemy ever does pile-in moves near them, they'll take a mortal wound. They do mortal wounds from trample underfoot at the end of combat. Plus, they give us some high rend and good damage dealing for the army as well. I think they're just a really solid unit to hold the line, and let's not forget, when they're on an objective, they pretty much turn that objective into an awakened wildwood or overgrown terrain feature, making counting as both, so allowing the Dryads on set objectives to get all the bonuses and the Branch Witch as well. Now, the Lady of Vines is another character option you can certainly look to. Her ability to provide a spell that does a 5-up ward is really nice in an army that wants to be hankering down. She's also got the ability to put out -1 to hit if enemies are too close to her, and she counts as a friendly awakened wildwood near her as well. Her own ability, Rouse to Wrath, as well, to summon extra Dryads to the table, and definitely can help this army out and keep it in the fight that little bit longer. Though, always beware, when you summon things to the table, they get the battlefield rolls in Age of Sigmar 3.0, so they will be available to be Galatian veterans, and thus potentially give up points to your opponent. Now, the last thing I want to suggest is the Tree Lord. Now, this could be any of the Tree Lord variants, Spirit of Durthu, Tree Lord, Ancient Tree Lord, any of those sort of suit, and that's because of the Ground Shaker ability. The Ground Shaker ability is a special monstrous rampage all Tree Lords have access to. You pick an enemy unit within 3 inch, and on 3+, you give them the Strike's Last ability. On top of this, the regular Tree Lord has the Lash and Tangle, where if any melee attack hits with this weapon or scores a hit, models in the target unit cannot make pile-ins either. So this doesn't potentially work well with the Kurnoth Hunters in size, but you could have them on different points in the battlefield. This is really good for using a Tree Lord to tag large enemy units and just stop them being able to go anywhere. Stopping them being able to pile in is really nice. A really good combination there with your Ground Shaker ability. On top of that, he does pretty decent damage as well, with 5 attacks at 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2, and another 2 attacks at 2s and 2s, Ren 2 damage 3. Is a really nice solid damage profile. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the Universal Endless Spells, and I've got the ones here, the Malign Portents, but the Malign Sorcery ones definitely have one in there that I really like as well. A big thing I like about this, first of all, the Umbral Spell Portals are really nice for extending the range of your spells, especially your area effect spells, out of things like the Branch Witch. But the big reason I like this is the Soul Snare Shackles, and also in the Malign Sorcery ones, I really like the Shards of Valagar. Both of these are movement debuff based endless spells and great for using to control your opponent's army, allowing you to dictate when and where the charges are coming and to dictate how far your opponent can move as well. Really useful stuff. I think both of them definitely have a place and a play in an army that really just wants to control what your opponent's doing, meanwhile scoring and capping objectives as much as possible. And so we have our sample army list. Now, we've obviously gone for Winterleaf and we've gone for the Everdusk. Now, the Everdusk gives us two things. First of all, it does lower the range of all our Awakened Wildwood abilities by 3 inch. However, we get the ability to get exploding 6s to hit, meaning every 6 to hit is 2 hits instead of 1, whilst we're within range of those forests as well. So you definitely can get some benefit out of this. I think having multiple of your abilities around the table to make those 6-inch bubbles and just playing much more tightly will definitely enable you to get some cool things off with this army. Now, the grand strategy Show of Dominance, I think, is the best one to go with at the moment. It's the literally just needing a single unit in the center of the board. It may change to needing a unit within each actual table cord, a hole within each one, but at the moment it just requires one, so we'll go with it. Triumph-wise, Bloodthirsty, I think the rerollable charge can come in clutch for this, though you are only 10 points under, so you're not going to get it all that often. Now, a Branch Witch is going to be our general. We've actually gone for the Master of Magic and Arcane Tome as our command trait and artifact combo. This allows her to reroll one casting and dispelling attempt each turn, but also allows her to cast an extra spell. For a spell, we've gone obviously with Verdurous Harmony. This is just a great healing spell. We can return one model to a friendly Sylvaneth unit or D3 models to a unit if that unit is Dryads or Tree Revenants. Now, speaking of Battle Line, we've got 2 units of Dryads, one of 20, one of 10. They are both in an Expert Conquerors battalion, meaning they count as 3 models each while on the objectives. And then we've got 3 Kurnoth Hunters with Kurnoth size and a Tree Lord in there as well for some nice punch and good tanky ability in there as well, all in once. And then an endless spell with Soul Snare Shackles. You could also go Shards of Valagar. I think both are definitely well worth having a look at. We come to 990 points out of 1,000. 1 out of our 2 reinforced units used. No allies. 64 wounds is pretty decent at this point's value. And 5 drops. The 1 drop, well and truly dead at this point. Although, not always. There are lists that want it. But with that said, what do you think of Winterleaf Sylvaneth? Let us know down in the comments below what you would do with your Winterleaf Sylvaneth. Let us know. Love to hear from everyone. And so that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And drop us a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members or grabbing some channel merch off our merch store on Teespring, which is on our YouTube store as well. You can also come chat with me and other members of our little community here and our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description, along with the Patreon and YouTube members links. And as a special shout out to all those Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giapi390. And a special thank you to our YouTube members, Greenroos Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Locke Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller as well. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who comes on the channel and helps us create everything we do. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.